Hey, welcome back to the final week 4 of the seminar that we're doing on how church media works. And we're going to talk about today how to set up the most powerful communication system on the planet. And yes, of course, as we always promise or get pretty close to this, it's free. It's free, Sean. I like free.
I don't know what's music to ministers' ears, any other word than free.
What could be better than free? And
that's the number right there.
That's the number, for sure. And Doug, my pastor, if I mention the word free, the answer is almost always yes. If I mention money, he's like, well, let's pray about that. And I know what that means. Let's wait.
Right, and the same thing with my pastor. I can always pass anything by him as long as it's free.
Yeah, free. So we're going to give you a free way to do this, but more than that, it really is the most powerful way to communicate on the planet. So here we go. Let's go right in and drum roll, get ready for it. It is Facebook. As you know, Facebook is where most of your congregation already is. And I've got 70-year-old individuals walking in and they've got their iPad. I can't tell you how many in just this last release, the iPad 3. Have you noticed how many older people are coming in with iPads? My mom today got her iPad too.
Wow.
Yeah, and she loves it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Most people do. I don't know anybody who has an iPad who goes, I hate this.
And then I had another man in our church. He's a little bit older in our congregation. He got an iPad just a couple weeks ago, and he's carrying it around showing everybody.
Right. My dad was talking about getting one. Of course, my parents aren't as old as yours because I'm quite a bit younger than Chad, if you didn't know. But
I knew that was coming.
He saw my iPad and saw me working on it, saw all that I could do on it, and he was very interested in it.
Once they see it happen, game over.
Right.
Yeah. So when you consider Facebook, everybody's walking around with these iDevices or even Android or whatever. You've got a phone. That means that you're connected all the time. Now, I think we're going to make the case for the following things, that Facebook is better than email.
Of course.
Yeah, because I would rather check my Facebook messages than I would my email. I hate checking my email because I know that my Facebook is going to be for friends.
Right.
And not that email marketer like me.
Right.
Yeah. So, I can't really get into your Facebook that easy as I could maybe email. It's better than a phone call because it takes so much time to make a phone call.
Right.
I could call you to tell you 2 sentences. I guarantee it's going to take you 1 minute to 2 minutes to do it.
Right.
I want you off the phone, Sean, when you call me. Text me. That means I only have to spend 20 seconds on that text message.
Right.
I mean, what do you do in your communication? Let's just say you and your wife. Text message or phone call?
We do text a lot.
Yeah.
We text more than we probably talk on the phone.
And tell me the truth. Don't sugarcoat this. Are you not a little irritated when we're working on this stuff and your wife wants to call?
I am never irritated when my wife wants to call.
Good answer. Good answer. So it's better than phone calling. It's better even than text messaging. And why is it better than text messaging? Because if the church gets your text message and they start sending you stuff, it's a little irritating. That's the only reason it's better than text messaging, because it's basically the same. But if the church has my phone number and they text me, I'm going to be irritated.
Right. And what we're kind of talking about here is we're going to get into what you can use Facebook with. And you're going to say, well, I don't have any way to contact him. You're taking away email, phone call, text messaging. No, we're not. We're going to replace it with something way better.
Exactly.
Emails, anytime I get an email, I feel like I have to check it right away. Anytime I get a text message or miss a phone call, I feel like I have to get to it right away. But with Facebook, most of the time I do.
All those forms of medium for me, except for text messaging, email or anything. If you email me, it may be tomorrow before I get to you.
Right. Well, I keep my email a lot smaller than Chad's, though. So, but, with Facebook, I feel more at leisure to get to that, and I'm more probably apt to respond to something I'm getting in Facebook than I am, through especially email. Now, phone call and text messages are a little different, but we are in a new world, and everyone's on Facebook.
Yeah,
so
and they communicate. Yeah, it's about time. So here we go. How do you get started with Facebook? And the very first step, and I can't tell you, I work with businesses. I just got done with working with a school this past week, and believe it or not, I haven't told you this. We just took them on as a client.
Oh.
I just went by to say, help them out or whatever, and they called me back and they said, yes, we'd like you, to manage our stuff. So it was fun. And so I went in and the first thing they'd done is they went in and tried to set up a personal page for the school.
Right.
And they actually got it right as far as they didn't create a business. They went in and did it right. They didn't make some of the mistakes I've seen, but we ended up closing that account and just putting it up under their Facebook page. Right. So the administrator of the school now is the administrator of also that page, and then one of their secretaries or one of their teachers, I'm not really sure what her position is, probably a teacher, she's also administrator there, and we set it up for correctly. So if you already have a personal page, you're already ready to roll with the next part. If you don't go try to sign up your church. You've got to do it as a personal page yourself. So if your name is John Smith, guess what you need to sign up? You don't need to sign up First Baptist whatever. You need to sign up John Smith.
Right, and you're going to run into lots of problems doing that, and you're going to see that you're going to either
trying to set up the business thing.
Yeah. And you're just going to it's going to be real tough. So trust us. We've been working on this. We've done this. You're going to put yourself into a box if you try doing it the other way.
Absolutely.
So, again, we're trying to save you the heartache that we've gone through and save you some time.
And if you're a pastor concerned that, hey, I may be leaving in 5 years, which is a typical leave rate for pastors, you can simply make yourself not an administrator any longer, and you're done with that page.
Right.
So here we go. I've got a piece of advice for you about your personal page. Do not use it for any other reason than personal use. Now, your personal page is your personal page, and there's several reasons for that, okay? The first reason is if you have more than 300 people, and we recommend 250 friends or less, you're not going to be able to keep up with your page. Now, Sean, you have more than 300 friends, but have you taken anybody out of your news feed?
I haven't.
I've taken about 100 of my friends out of my news feed. But I love now. If in case you don't know what taking it out, that means I don't have to look at their post every day.
Right.
And I love looking at my Facebook now because I can sit down and in 20 minutes catch up on everybody that I care about. And I haven't told who I've taken out of my news feed. It's mostly those people that post 10 times a day. But I've taken them out, and I love my personal page now. So if it gets clogged up now, how many you have? 600?
I have a little over 600 friends.
Tell me the truth. Can you go through all your friends' feeds?
No, and again, for me, Facebook is not for me to go through all my friends' feeds. For me, the purpose of Facebook for me is to sometimes post pictures to let people know what's going on in my life. And, when I get time, I skim through what's going on in my friends' lives. And it's neat because sometimes someone who I thought I would have, probably done what Chad's done, find really good stuff and really good nuggets of information or stuff about their life that I would have missed otherwise. So to me, I don't let Facebook consume my life like some people do, but it's to your discretion. You can have up to 5,000 friends on Facebook, and that'd be kind of crazy.
It would be insane.
But
there's a better way to handle. There's a better way to handle a large amount of people. I think, and that's what we recommend. But you brought up a little point there about communication, and my wife, we were on our way to the city to meet some friends yesterday, and we call Oklahoma City the city around here, in case you don't know. And so we were going up there down to their Riverwalk down there, and we call it Bricktown, and great place to go. A lot of people down there. But on the way up there, we hadn't really talked with our friends a whole lot. Ryan and we sat down and read their posts and their Facebook pages, both of them, on the way up there to catch up with them, so we would have stuff to talk about when we were there.
Right.
And that's what you're talking about,
right,
is that you catch up with friends, you use it to communicate. You're not really using it to watch their news feeds because you couldn't handle it.
Right.
I mean, in an hour, you could have 200 news feed posts. There's no way you could go through all this stuff. So that's why we recommend keep your friends low. Don't make this your church friend page, even though it's tempting to do, because you may have church members come that are your friends, and you got to just sit down. Do I plan on being this person's friend for the rest of my life? And then you might say, well, I'll add them and then take them out later when I leave the church, which I guess however you want to handle it, but we're recommending 250 friends or less. So what is a Facebook fan page for your church? What is it used for? Why would you want it? Because we're going to talk about two different types of pages today. The group and the page. Okay, let's talk about the page first. Facebook pages is used for marketing. If you don't plan on running ads, use a group. So we're going to talk about Facebook pages right now. I'm going to tell you how to set it up, how to do it, and tell you what it's used for. First and foremost, Facebook pages are used to reach out to people. So if you only plan on working with your church currently, don't set up a Facebook page. It's not going to serve you very well. And the reason why is if you make a post on a Facebook page, you're only going to end up in their feed. Now keep that in mind. You're only going to show up right here. Oh, they can't see my pin pointing here. You're only going to show up in their feed, which shows up right here. Okay, and this isn't exactly right, but it's pretty close. And if they don't look at, like we just found out Sean did not check his news feed, you would never be able to communicate with Sean because he didn't check his news feed.
Right.
So it kind of defeats the purpose unless you're doing outreach. Okay, so let's talk about Facebook pages. They are great for marketing. So if you want to set one up, go to facebook.com/pages/create.php. Pick the local business place. Now, we used to only recommend company because there was limitations. That has been removed. This is the best option for you. Go to businesses or place and set that up. It's going to actually set up 2 pages for you. Sean, in your infinite wisdom, tell me, what are the 2 places that are set up here when you set it up?
Well, you have your organization and a places page.
Now, tell me, what is a places page?
It kind of gives people directions. That's where you can add your address and your phone number. You'll be at church, so you won't be able to put church hours, but you can add a little bit of information in there, and they'll be able to see this through places.
Yeah, setting up a church, they don't allow you to add hours. I wish they would. But if you were a bookstore, if you classified yourself as a bookstore, they allow you to do hours. But the other thing that's really nice is that your employees can set themselves up as where they work.
Right.
And so this adds the ability to start typing in your name and you're like, oh, just click that. And now you work at First Baptist downtown. Right. And that's another advantage of that. So go ahead and click that. There's no other thing on here that would fit under a church. And then what will you get? Well, you get this great little page. And I'm scrolling down a page that doesn't scroll. And you get this great little page, and you can put whatever you want in your banner, and you've got this little logo here that you can do that. And so we talk about that more in depth on our site, and we cover how to set all of that up. But that's what your page will look like, and all your posts will show up down here. Now, what can these Facebook pages be used for? Sean, you and I talked about running campaigns on Facebook, and if you remember back, I ran a campaign about our VBS, and we ran a 2-week campaign, and we brought in 46 people. We signed up 46 kids from our community using that campaign. And all we did here, I brought in a generic one. We don't have that tab up anymore. And so I brought in a very generic, but this is similar to what we did. We put a little header, and then we put the video, and then we put a little sign-up form, an email sign-up form, and we just ran ads to that. So when you clicked on the ads, you came to this page and it said, hey, join us for VBS. And then they signed up below. And so we ran that. We were able to reach 46 people in 2 weeks running ads. Does ads replace mailers?
No. I mean, it could, and it'd be a very well-placed budget. But, again, this is just another form.
It's another way to reach people. It really is. And bring in those extra people. But if you think about percentages, we ran... I'm trying to think of the numbers. I think we run close to 400 kids at VBS. So we're talking about 1/8 of the kids that signed up. That's a lot. I mean, that's a big percentage. So this is what you can do on Facebook. You could run ads, send them to a page, and have them sign up for VBS. Now, what does an ad look like, and what does it take to make a good ad? I'm just going to cover 2 things. This is what an ad looks like on Facebook, and it only shows up on the right-hand column in Facebook. Now, this is kind of boring stuff, so I'm going to go over this really quickly. This is what an ad looks like, and I'm going to tell you this. Number 2 thing, you can kind of get a sense real quick as to what's performing well. I guarantee you this ad right here, probably not performing well. Now, I tend to notice the reds. Which one do you notice on the page, Sean?
The one that sticks out to me is the top one that's got the stars in it.
Right here with the red. Me too. Yeah, I see that one. This kind of sticks out because it's kind of white and it's got the girl there a little bit. But really nothing else catches. Maybe this one might catch my eye. But this looks like a jumbled mess. This is kind of too dark for me. This is dark. And this, I really can't even tell what that is.
Right.
And so from my experience, those type ads don't perform well. Now, a lot of my ads, sometimes I start out with just one word, church. And I'll put it in red letters across there. Just church. And then that will catch people's eye. And that has performed well for me every single time.
Right. And Chad keeps saying performed well. And you might be saying, well, what do you mean, Chad, by performing well? These ads go up on the side banner and people see them. And but what we talk about being performing well is that means the amount of people who are clicking on them. Now, one of these ads that don't perform well means that they're not grabbing a lot of attention. They're not getting a lot of click through on them, and they're not making very much contact with the people they want to contact with.
Yeah, and it's costing more money for them to run it too.
Right.
Now, Facebook, I only spent about $50 to get those 46 people. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I didn't spend a whole lot of money, but Facebook will charge you more if you don't do well. They just simply will. Great point. All right. Am I missing anything else on this, Sean? Anything else? So. Okay, so we're going to move on. And here's the sequence. You might be wondering, what does a Facebook consist of? What would be the sequence I need to go through? A typical sequence will go like this. You post content that make people cry. Now, what do I mean by make people cry? Something that people connect to, they feel emotional with. And then the next thing is people will connect by commenting, liking, or sharing. So, Sean, which one out of these do you do the most? Because it seems like you do a lot of commenting and a lot of liking. Which one's the most for you?
I do a lot of liking.
Okay. So you come by and just like a post, which is very typical.
Right.
People use that more than anything else. But you also comment. So what's the criteria? What strikes you for commenting?
I mean, sometimes it depends on what I'm looking at. I mean, sometimes I've seen stuff that's, people have posted a really pretty picture or like a picture of their child, newborn, and I want to say congratulations or something like that, or someone who's put something that's, I have a girl in my youth ministry. She's always posting really good quotes that she makes up herself and along with scripture, and I like to comment and encourage her on that. Just, again, things that pull on your heartstrings or make you feel something are the ones that I normally end up spending my time on.
Well, I do also do a lot of likes. I'll like it just to let people know I was there and looking at it and stuff. But I'll comment. Here's my criteria. If I think I can be funny. And me, probably isn't very often. I probably think I'm funnier than I really am. And so but you'll notice through my posts, it's usually when I think I have a good joke, about it, or I can make people smile.
Right.
I'm just trying to encourage people. That's what I'm trying to do. So that's how people share, comment, and like. People will see it, and now I probably need to add a little bit. Other people see it and connect. So over on the right-hand side of Facebook, whenever somebody makes a comment, share, or like, it ticks off, and you can see it running down, and somebody's name might catch you, and you're like, oh, they're commenting on First Baptist. What is that? And click on it, and they will connect to the page. Now, this does not bring in very many people. How many a week on a page? Let's say that's 3,000. You've really done a good job pulling in. My wife has a blog. It has 3,500 people on it. How many do you think she brings in a week from that little ticker, that style of getting people? Just take a guess.
50.
Okay. I think that's a reasonable guess. It brings in about 8 to 10.
Oh, wow.
And she has a really attractive blog and everything. What I mean by that, it really does pull in people well. So you're not going to get a whole lot, and if you're a church, it's probably going to be 2 to 3.
Right.
So don't plan on building your page just because other people see it. But here's how you plan on building your page. You plan on it when you run ads, okay? This is the most important way to build your page. Just plan on setting aside $150 to $200 a month for that, for a while, until you feel comfortable with what you've got. Run an ad, and this is what ads look like. They will bring in more than anything to your page. 99% of traffic will come from ads after your initial bump. Now, you can go around and pull all your people together, but we're going to show you a better way to pull your church members in. this Facebook page is not. This is the way you connect with your community. This is the way you connect for those VBS people. This is how you outreach. All right. And then the final thing is post content that make people cry. If you can make them cry, you're going to be very successful on Facebook. All right. We're going to talk about the most amazing thing I've ever seen. This is the most advanced form of communication on the planet, in my opinion, is Facebook groups. You run a Facebook group for your church.
Yeah, we do have one.
And it's extremely powerful because anybody in the group, you have how many people in your group?
Oh, I haven't checked it in a while.
Wasn't it like 225, something like that?
We had a large group, a large number on it.
It surprised me at how big it is because on Sunday morning, do you have that many in church?
No, we don't.
So you have more people part of your group. That means your congregation on your Facebook group is bigger than your church on Sunday morning. So your ministry here is huge. And I found that to be true with other small churches is that we'll check with them and ask them. And every time I've checked with them, their group is bigger than their actual congregation. And that seems to be across the board. So we're going to tell you why this is so genius. First and foremost, you can do several different types of posts. But let me back up here. And I didn't make a slide for this, but let me tell you. The genius of the group is that you can start adding anybody that is your friend right away. And so all these suggestions right here are friends of mine. I can just start adding them to the group. Before I got done with the end of the day, I could probably add 30 people to that group.
Right.
The other genius is that anyone I add to the group can now add somebody else to the group.
Right.
So you can multiply this group extremely fast. And so what are Facebook groups all about? First of all, you can post posts or pictures right here and have them go out to all the group. Now, when you do any action in the group, now get this, pause, listen very closely, pay attention to this. This is what the Facebook group, why it's so important. Now, I'm about to tell you the ultimate secret as to why Facebook groups are so important. Are you ready, Sean? Here it is.
I'm ready.
It is because every time I do an action in the group, it shows up in every member's notifications. You never miss a post.
Wow.
And it happens every time.
That's crazy.
And so I could go days without checking my Facebook, come back, and I'm going to get a notification. It's going to be right here, and I'll never miss a post.
Right, Chad. I just checked my Facebook on my phone. I just pulled out my iPhone just to check to see, to contribute to this discussion here. As I pulled up, I haven't opened my app in, I don't know, it's probably been maybe a day and a half or so. I don't open it up too often. And I opened it up, and I had 6 notifications from that page of people posting and letting me know what's going on. We have a church member who was in a very bad accident here lately and is fighting for his life and just not doing very hot. And they've just been posting prayers and just uplifting that family through this page. And, I'm getting, numerous updates every day. And that family has been very contributive to that page also and letting us know what's going on with the son and just how everything is going. I tell you, Chad is right. This is the most genius thing that we can do as a church because this way right here will reach more people than your regular Facebook page, than your personal page, than a fan page. This is just a great way to get people.
And quite frankly, probably more than your message will on Sunday morning.
Right.
And that's sad to say, but it's the truth. And so this is the genius part. Anytime you post anything, and get this, guys, it even has events. Hello, every time you have an event, it is notified. All right, enough on that. I don't know of any way I can get it more clear than what we said. This is genius. All right, Facebook group. Can you run ads on Facebook group? Here's how it works. No, you cannot run ads on for a Facebook group. You post content that make people cry. You can also post events, photos, and documents. People connect by commenting, liking, and sharing. They interact and enjoy the conversation. People ask other people to join the group, and they all interact with the content you keep posting. Now, you can also invite them by email, mail, and Facebook just by simply, we'll go back here, copying the URL. It's right up at the top here for this page. So when you go to the page, just copy that URL into a email, and you can invite people to it.
And again, this isn't something that you're just writing on and people are getting your post. Other people from your church come in and post, and it notifies everybody in the group. So this isn't just ran by the administrator or people who you make administration on it, but it is ran by the people.
Now, how, Sean, you're pretty much a control person here. So let me ask you, does it drive you crazy, or are you okay with that?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, so it doesn't bother you a bit, but there are probably people out there that are such control freaks with their church. This is going to drive crazy that somebody else can post on their page.
Right. But again, this is why we use this as a group. And again, yeah, there could be someone coming around and abuse it at some point, but I just don't see that happening.
And we have to block and ban people from our Facebook page and our groups sometimes.
That just happens.
Yep. Part of the job. All right, so let's go over events. If you post an event, here's what it looks like. Step 1, create the event, add a few details, and finally invite friends. And when you post the event, everybody in your group gets notified. Genius. All right, photos. Because you're using your group, this isn't available to everybody. So you can feel more comfortable posting photos of maybe your kids, because only the parents involved are the ones seeing it.
Right.
This isn't public, okay?
Right. And I guess that does bring something up that we need to address. When you create this page or this group, there's 3 different settings you can do. You can have it a private where no one can see it. You can have it public where anyone can see it, and you can have it pretty much where it's by invite only, and only people who have been invited into the group can see what's going on inside the group.
Yes, and so you can choose what kind of privacy you want on that page, and it's awesome. The other thing that you can post is documents. What if you put out there a document that was titled People Coming on a Trip, and you just let people sign up as they went along, and then suddenly you could print that document at the end of the sign up, and you don't have to recreate it, or you can copy and paste it. Another thing I thought of using for this, and of course a lot of this is new, so it's experimental, but you can put your sermon notes out here, and they can print them off, or they can edit them, or they could bring it up in Facebook and just edit it as long as you go, and somebody could fill it in during the church service and print it off. Now, the thing is, though, if you print this off, you edit it for everybody in the group. Okay. So this is everybody's working on the same thing together. So if somebody fills it out in the first service and you have a second service, then the second service is going to see the notes of the other person.
Right.
But this is one of those things that if you think of a great way on use of this, please email me. Give me more ideas. Send me thoughts and stuff that you have. We want to know how to, we can better use these tools here.
And again, I think, Chad, on something like that is maybe you have just a group of just your staff. Maybe it's just a group that you make for just your staff, and you make it a private group that only, the pastor, the youth minister, the education minister, whatever kind of ministers you have. And maybe that's something that you make separate. Maybe you have one that's open for your church and for everybody, but maybe you make one for just your staff that no one else can see. No, it can't be searched. It can't be found other than by the people who you invite. And that might be something that you use on for this.
Well, let's look at the last slide here, and it's chatting. If you want to get real-time response back from something, or a real-time prayer request, or you just have something you have to get out, then you can go on there and chat to your entire group. Have you had the occasion to use this yet on your group?
I haven't yet. We haven't used this yet.
So you just post and you get the notifications and let people know. But everybody online at the time you start chatting, and you can see right here all these friends on there that could be chatting at the same time, and you can start chatting with that group. So you can get real-time feedback on that if you need to. All right, well, that is Group. That's how to set up the most powerful communication system on the planet for free. Love this.
And for more information, always feel free to check out howchurchmediaworks.com for more in-depth videos.
And not only check it out, but buy a membership. In fact, we're giving away a membership for $7. You can get 7 days trial, and you have unlimited access. So we don't limit anything. If you watch all the tutorials and you can do it in 7 days, done. That's all you pay is $7.
That's right.
But we think you're going to keep it because you can train additional members in your church and get yourself up to speed. And plus, there's a ton of tutorials that help your church save money.